Original Gangsters Podcast. I'm your host, Scott Burnstein. Quick hitter edition. We're going to go out to South Philly and wrap up the case against Johnny Chang. Dave Schratweiser, Mob Talk Sit Down, broke the news last week that all of the assault charges against Johnny Chang that were filed last summer related to a brawl at Chicky and Pete's were dropped, and he has pled guilty to a disorderly conduct citation. I don't even think it's a misdemeanor. And he has now resolved that little altercation. We can put it to bed. I don't really feel like the other people that have been charged in this are really important enough to follow through in their respective legal processes. But Johnny Chang, John Changolini, 68-year-old Philly Mafia figure from the Story Changolini family. Somebody that needs no introduction in South Philly or anywhere else. Johnny Chang is respected and beloved. He's well-liked, well-connected, a voice of reason in a family full of guys that are quite act first, ask questions later, kind of, retroactively ask permission for things. And, that's the beauty of that South Philly crew that we've been following now for over 30 years, 35 years. George Anastasia started chronicling them, and I've been fortunate enough to follow suit and take the baton from George. And Dave's still dipping his toes in, and he broke the news about Johnny Chang getting this case behind him. But Johnny Chang is kind of that, if you're, he's the calming voice of reason. He's the guy that, if he had been on the street in the 1990s, who knows what happens? Or I should say in the first half of the 90s, when he had to go serve one of his two sentences. He had to go off to college. But, it's possible. It's possible his brother could still be alive. We've heard those just heartbreaking wiretaps of him talking to people about feeling so helpless behind bars, when his two brothers were facing off in that war. But Johnny Chang is just he's not from that core Merlino group. He's a little older than those guys, 3-4 years older. It was Mikey that was part of that crew. So Johnny Chang is he's part of the inner circle, but he's also kind of his own faction. The Changolinis are kind of their own group within a group, and Chicky Chang and Joey Chang is still alive, even though he's inactive, and was a casualty of that war, just in the sense that it took him out of the life. And R.I.P. to Mikey Chang. So Johnny Chang has got that case resolved. I don't really feel like we need to rehash it. It caused a lot of drama, both within South Philly as well as this crazy YouTube internet space about how the news was reported. The basics are Johnny Chang's nieces were being disrespected. Joey Baldino and a couple of his boys, the DeBello brothers, and some other guys were acting rowdy, and Johnny Chang got called to the scene, and there was allegedly a slap or a attempted slap on Johnny's part. He came into the bar to regulate. Chicky and Pete's is it's a staple of South Philly. Everybody knows about Chicky and Pete's. And Johnny Chang came in there and asserted his authority, and someone smacked back, and there was a back and forth, and then everything spilled out into the parking lot, and people's iPhones were out. It was a real mess. And at the end of the day, Johnny ended up getting charged with assault, but that's all been resolved. It's a disorderly citation now. Baldino and the DeBellas still have cases pending, but again, we're not really going to be following that. I don't really feel that it's noteworthy to the rest of the reporting here. That's no disrespect to those guys. Joey Baldino is kind of a South Philly bad boy, nephew to Phil Narducci, even though him and Narducci are no longer on speaking terms, and kind of doing his own thing. We all know about the beef that he's had in the past. Dom Grande, it's his reputation precedes him. Nonetheless, Johnny Chang has got this thing behind him, and we can kind of put this chapter to bed of 2024, which was a crazy year in South Philly with the Bruno Scarfo family. And this was kind of just an unfortunate incident that spiraled out of control, but I'm glad that it's resolved. Johnny Chang can kind of not have to worry about this particular legal issue, and I don't think he's going to have many in the future either. He's retired and is a guy that isn't active anymore, but still has a ton of juice, and is a guy that everybody looks to for counsel and can be a sounding board. Again, a voice of reason. I probably said it 3 or 4 times, but that's who Johnny Chang is. Everybody loves him. Philly, Jersey, New York. So, good news for Johnny Chang. Shout out to Dave Schratweiser for being on top of it. Original Gangsters Podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe. Uncovering the underworld, one city, one region, one country at a time. I'm out.